From the year 1608 to 1615, Martin de Leon Cardinals wrote a book called Dolphin Tale, in which he doped the life story of a Spanish man. The book was supposed to be published by the year 1621, but actually it got published 3 years ago in 2018. So why couldn't this book be printed in the last 400 years? Or should I say, how many editors lost their lives to this book in the last 400 years? It is considered a curse book, and in today's video, we will discuss some books that are cursed or highly valued, being operated by authorities. The Grain Dreamweaver book was written during the 16th century, and it is believed to have been written by someone possessed by Satan. Perhaps that's why this book is also known as the Gospel of Satan. People believe that this book contains certain mantras that can summon powerful demons. Moreover, it contains references to black magic, through which a deceased person's soul can be brought back to life. If even a single page of this book is read, the reader's soul goes to the devil, and then terrible things happen to that person. That's why this book is known as the man of the most powerful, dark book. Nowadays, getting hold of the Grand Dreamweaver book is not within everyone's reach, as the original book is in the possession of the Vatican and some secret archives of the city. It has been hidden away. It is said that before concealing this book, several rituals were performed on it to pacify it. We have learned that this book was divided into 2 parts. The first part describes the process of summoning devils like Lucifer and Esther Ross and creating association with them. On the other hand, the second part provides information on creating spells, communicating with spirits, winning lotteries, practicing Vashikaran, and other such unconventional things. This book has been referenced multiple times in pop culture, be it in games, TV shows, or albums. It has captivated the Dutch mental state once again. Now, I cannot estimate the true extent of this book's power, but according to people, it is the most cursed book on earth. In the Book of Sacred Magic Fabric Mailing, a person named Abraham wrote this book in the 15th century. It is said that Abraham once visited Egypt, where he encountered a black magic practitioner. Dr. Abraham wanted to share this knowledge. To test his son and allow him to understand, he wrote the Book of Bromelain so that Abraham's son could read and comprehend it. Abraham believed that every human has their own demon within, and reading this book would bring control over one's demon. Now, within this book, there are several dark magical spaces that can bring the dead back to life. The knowledgeable dub Bromelain was converted to the English language in the year 1900, and since then, many people have made copies of it. They started to believe that this book is truly cursed. This is because whoever possessed a copy of this book would experience something bad. People believed that the book's owner would start encountering spirits from the other world, which brought misfortune into their lives. In fact, several owners have died. It is difficult to estimate how true this is, but the details of this book are described in The Most Cash Books by David System. The Book of Soiga, also known as Aldare, is a book written on the subject of demonology, which deals with the study of demons or evil spirits. This book was written during the early 16th century, and it's essentially a Latin essay. It is said that only 2 copies of this book are available. The first copy was decoded by scholar John Dee and his elder brother, and John devoted his entire life to decoding this book. John claimed that this book is filled with darkness, rituals, and numerous implementations. However, John couldn't understand the final 36 pages of the book. The spirit that possessed their head had become too strong, so they hired a medium to establish contact with Archangel Ariel. They contacted the real medium through John's transmission and learned that this book is said to be cursed ever since Adam destroyed heaven. and only Archangel Michael can decide the fate of this book. Unfortunately, John couldn't comprehend these pages, and after his departure, the books disappeared as well. However, both lost copies of this book were found in the year 1994. Since then, many people have attempted to understand this book, but they have not been successful. In fact, it is said that anyone who fully understands it is destined to die within 3 years. This incident dates back to the year 2013, when an online bookseller sold 2 extremely mysterious books online. These books were handwritten and bound with spiral binding. The seller sold them for about $14,000. While finalizing the sale, the seller warned the buyer that any non-believer reads these books, or any who disrespects these books, will be cursed. Now, if we discuss the content of these books, they are considered as a spell book of a witch. An ancient high priest wrote them during the 90s era. People say that these kind of spell books should disappear itself or is burnt when the witch dies. No one knows whether the witch is still alive or not, but the book is still available. If we talk about the contents of these 2 books, they include conditions, courses, and various spells. Here we have a massive collection of spells and incantation prints, totaling around 150 pages in these books. They cover various topics such as contacting spirits, summoning demons, and even exorcism techniques. The first page of this book contains a warning that states, "Proceed with caution, for the lords of the craft are watching the reading of face books." In this format, we have the proceedings. No further, and justice will factor sustainable attribution, and you will shrivel, journey, and handcraft. In other words, if you are someone who lacks knowledge of witchcraft and still choose to read this book, you will face dire consequences. Currently, the location of this book and information beyond it remains anonymous. Now, coming back to the very first book of this video, The Dolphin Tale is a book that was written in the early 1600s by a monk who broke his sacred vows. It tells the tale of a young boy who leaves Spain at the age of 14 to seek out adventure and fortune in the Spanish colonies. The story follows the boy on his travels, featuring run-ins with pirates, romantic encounters, and his transformation from a soldier to a monk, and eventually an archbishop. The strange thing with this book is that it was only published over 400 years later, in 2018, despite numerous attempts to translate and publish it throughout history. That's because anyone who has ever been involved with it is said to have met a tragic end, whether through unexplained diseases or accidents. This has led to the belief that the book is cursed. However, the person who managed to finally publish it claims it's a wonderful window into the golden age of Spanish history. These literary artifacts have long haunted the minds of those who dared to unlock their forbidden secrets. Join us next time as we uncover more mysteries, exploring the darkest corners of our haunted world.